Hello, it's Tamara Doris, your Sacramento real estate professional and your Sacramento real estate professor. And today I'm going to come on here and I'm going to give you the 7 top tips that prohibit sellers from getting top dollar in the right time frame for their home. Are you ready? Number 1, numero uno, overpricing the property. A lot of sellers think if we price it high, we can always go lower. Big mistake. Other sellers think, well, if we price it too low, then we won't get what the home is worth. Big mistake. If you understand strategic pricing, the best way to price your home is either at or just below what the current market value is. What homes in that exact neighborhood have been selling for over the last 3 months. Your skilled agent will know how to explain this to you. And it's okay if you go a little under, because then you're going to get a bidding war going. So pricing your home strategically is number 1 mistake that people make. They don't do it. Number 2, poor photos. Listen, you can't just take your phone and then upload it straight to MLS. That's not going to cut it. Lighting is everything in photography. And most professional photographers that I know and use, they run the pictures through Lightroom or Photoshop or something like that, just to make sure the lighting is just right, to make sure the angles are perfect. You know, there's a lot that goes into proper photography, so don't try to shortcut on that. If you have an agent who shortcuts on that, that's a bad sign. Number 3, seller mistake. Ignoring curb appeal. Curb appeal is everything. I can't tell you how many times in my real estate career, 30 years, that I have had a buyer following me to the next property on our list to look at, and they've texted me, just keep going, we don't want to see this one, because of the curb appeal. So what if inside the house is just beautiful, but on the outside you've got weeds growing, you haven't pressure washed the front, you could have painted the front door, right? Touched up the trim, cleaned the windows, planted a few marigolds. These things matter to buyers. Buyers are all visual. You have to understand that. It's so important. This is why photography matters, right? If people are scrolling on MLS and your pictures are dark and gloomy, they're going to be like, let's pass on that one. Same thing with curb appeal. Number three, waiting too long to reduce the price. I know I already talked about price, but there's another stigma that people don't realize, and that is if you're listing, if you think you priced it strategically, and you'll know in 3 weeks if you don't have any offers, you gotta lower it. You just gotta lower it. That's just all there is to it. Because if you don't lower it, it's gonna sit on the market, it's gonna get stale. Agents who have already looked at it, who might have got excited at first, are now just scrolling past it. All the agents that work with buyers who are on Zillow have seen it and they've already marked it off their list. So you've got to reduce the price. And then you can do it, your agent can do a big campaign that's like, you know, new improved price improvement, and do all the marketing and get a lot of new eyes on it. Okay, really, really important. The next mistake is choosing an agent based on commission. Big mistake. Let me just ask you this. If I will take my commission, whatever it might be, and you challenge me and say, well, so-and-so will do it for what? How good of a negotiator am I? I'm going to be the person that's negotiating the sale of your home. I'm going to be the person that's negotiating on the request for repairs for buyers that are usually going to be really ridiculous, and I'm going to get where you get to pay less. So you want my negotiation skills. You don't want an agent who will just roll over and play dead when you say, no, I'll only pay you this much. And they'll be like, okay, how are they going to be a negotiation for you? How are they going to stand up for you and represent you? You can't. So picking an agent based on what they'll lower their commission for you. It's that old adage, you get what you pay for. And it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm looking at my notes. The next thing is not prepping your home. That's the next mistake. That is the 6th mistake. Not prepping your home. Now listen, I'm not a big fan of huge staging. I do not have a storage unit full of, you know, wonderful, amazing dream furniture. I don't do that. But here's a couple things that I do. I ask you, or I tell you, what should come off in the living room walls, what should go in storage, what you should pack up and put in the box in the garage, because less is more. So we really, really want to get it down to where there's nothing personal. You really want to make sure that personal photography and wedding pictures and family photos and trophies and all of that stuff is packed away and put up. Less is more when you're staging a home. A few brightly colored throw pillows, you know, things like that. But the most important thing is that your house is super clean, sparse, and organized. That's the most important thing. When a person walks in, if you've got clutter, if you've got breakfast dishes on the counter for Pete's sake, or breadcrumbs from making a sandwich really quick, it just grosses buyers out. They don't want to see that. They cannot imagine themselves living in your house when they're looking at your breadcrumbs on your counter. Do you get that? It's really, really important that you make sure your home is always in showable condition. Make the beds every morning while the house is on the market. It may be a hassle if you don't always make your bed anyway, but it's worth it. You want your home to show, and you don't have to go buy a bunch of nice furniture and a bunch of plants. But I'll tell you what, a few plants on the front porch, a plant here and there in the house, and everything clean, stuff taken off the walls, a coat of paint. When I come to your house, I will tell you, this is what I think we should do before we list it. And I'm not going to tell you things that just make me happy. I'm going to tell you things that I think you're going to get an ROI on, return on investment. I'm not going to say you should paint that wall if I don't think I'm going to make you $5,000 more on it. I do this based on many years of experience, and I know what will get you money out of it and what you will not get money. I had a seller 2 months ago. She asked me, I think I should remodel this bathroom. No, you're wasting your money. People aren't buying bathrooms. People have never bought bathrooms. They buy kitchens, they buy backyards, sometimes living rooms. They do not buy bathrooms. Just make sure the bathroom is clean and not falling apart. Okay? So that is the next mistake. And the last one, limited showings. Number 7, the sellers who just refuse to show when people want to look. Oh, we can't leave right now. Oh, we don't want a lockbox in the house. Oh, we don't like company after 5. Not going to cut it. You have got to be accessible. Now, I'm not saying that you can have midnight callers. I'm saying that in MLS, it should say 7 days a week, from 8 to 5. And if someone calls you and says, can we look at the house? You need to have a plan. If you're living there, you need to have a plan where you can just pick up the dog, pick up the kids, and go for a walk, go to the park, get in the car, go get a hamburger. You have to be on the ready. It's like, when someone gets pregnant and you have the suitcase all packed and you're just ready to go when it's time. It's kind of like that without the suitcase. You've got to be willing to let people show. I had a listing once where someone sat on her porch every time a showing came. Every time a buyer came to look at a beautiful home, almost $1 million property, she didn't want to leave. She was older, didn't want to leave, sat on the porch. That makes people feel like they can't imagine themselves in that house. Do you get it? If a person who lives there is staying there while you look at the house, they're not thinking like they can be honest with the agent, with each other. They're not thinking like, oh God, that wallpaper's got to go. They're like in someone else's house. You want to vacate the premises before they show up and not return to the premises until they leave. Very, very important. And I think so many agents fail to inform their sellers about this. Okay. So hopefully you found those 7 tips helpful. They are the true facts of what will get your home sold for the highest price in the best time period to make you happy. So if you have any questions, let me know. Click on a link below. I actually have a brand new sellers webinar, masterclass, whatever. All you have to do is go to the link, put your email in, and you will get instant access to it. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to do anything. Just sign up, watch it, and learn. Okay, have a great day. Talk to you soon.